Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today I sat down with Josh Hockett. He is 40 years old and has a goal to live to be 100. He brought a wealth of knowledge with him, you guys. We talked about all kinds of things, fitness and health related. We talked about nutrition. We talked about all the many hats that he wears, and he's actually a power lifter. Make sure you listen to the whole episode so you could get all the information. Do you want to get a free sticker? Go by Maximus today to pick up all of your proteins, creatines, and greens, and the pre-workouts. And be sure to tell them at the checkout that you heard this ad on Everything and the Gym podcast and get a free sticker at checkout. Hello. Welcome back to Everything and the Gym. I'm your host, Shelbi, and today I have another coach from Peak Performance. His name is Josh. But before we dive into his story, I have to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Maximus Nutrition, Orange Theory Fitness, CRC Roofing, and Training from the Ground Up. What is your name?
Josh Hockett.
And how old are you?
I am the big 40.
Woo! Is that a scary number?
Not really, no.
No?
Mm-mm.
Do you feel like you like yourself better now that you're 40 than you were any previous age?
I do, from the standpoint that I have a different perspective and a broader sense of, I guess, wisdom, put it just life wisdom at 40. Mm-hmm. Physically, health-wise, nothing more, but just a better perspective on life now than I did when I was younger.
I can't wait to dive into all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Before we dive into all that, what do you do?
Let's see. How many hats do you want me to go through here?
You've got a lot.
The big one is I was a strength conditioning coach and health scientist for Goodfellow Air Force Base as a contractor with the DoD, worked for Booz Allen. That contract ended, and it had nothing to do with political theme that we're in right now. I knew it was going to end in April of this year. So since then, many of my side hustles and gigs I've been able to put on the front burner for the first time in years. So I'm an adjunct instructor at Angelo State University in the kinesiology school. I'm a freelance writer for the Concho Observer. I'm a strength coach for the high school group at Peak Performance. And then I am an assistant instructor for the Cooper Tracks program at Shannon Health Club.
What is a health scientist?
It depends on the contract and the nature of the work. With mine, I was helping doing research and literature reviews and putting together a white paper for the Army Combat Fitness Test for the U.S. Army.
You're like a book of knowledge then.
In some regards, not in others.
Yeah. Okay, and then what did you say you do at Angelo State?
Adjunct instructor in the kinesiology school. I teach methods of exercise testing and kinesiology, anatomy, and physiology. It's a kinesiology-based A&P class.
Wow. Do you have a hard time juggling all those hats?
If you ask me the question, like they give in interviews of, what is your biggest weakness? It's making sure that I pull in the reins and don't take on too much, because I'm the kind of person that likes to stay busy. I'm building things, connecting things, networking. It's very easy to realize I have 10 different obligations right now, and I need to be a father and a husband too. So I've gotten better at that when we were talking about the wisdom with age and in life. I've gotten much better at, you've got enough on the plate, leave it right there. But as of right now, I feel like I have the perfect balance between personal, professional, family duties.
All right. I want to full circle back to that.
Okay.
What was growing up like for you?
I have to admit, there's the ebb and flow and roller coaster that is life as we grow up, but I had a good upbringing. My parents were very good at instilling good values, morals, ethics, good discipline, behavior in that sense. I have 3 siblings. I'm the oldest. I never felt that I had to struggle for anything in terms of not having what I needed. One component of my upbringing, this is strictly myself. I was overweight as a middle schooler going into high school. So, there was a bit of bullying, teasing, some self-worth and confidence issues. It has made me a better teenager, young adult, and now adult from that. And it's what got me into the fitness profession in the get-go. So although at the time it was hard, the hardest things we go through in life make us the people that we are. But I can't say I had a hard or troubling upbringing, and I'm very grateful for that.
Okay, so upbringing, childhood, going into high school, into college, what did those years look like for you?
Yeah, so I'll jump into kind of how it got me into the fitness field in the first place. By the end of seventh grade, I was 5'10", 245 pounds. So, I mean, looking back now as a fitness professional, by all means, an obese adolescent. And it was largely just due to the environment that I was in, the lifestyle I was living, friends I was hanging out with. If I didn't ride bikes and do sports, I probably would have gotten even bigger and more unhealthy. But by the time I finished eighth grade and got into my freshman year, I was down to 210, and I did shoot up to about 6'1". And it was simply because I got more active. We got a weight set in the basement. I started going for walks and just simply ate better. And even looking back, it was not perfect. My dad helped me out a little bit because he was a good role model. He was a fit father figure. And even now in his late 60s, he's still a fit, older population, if we want to put it that way. He never forced me into it. He simply coaxed me when he saw there was interest and when I asked. And by making those small, subtle changes for that 1.5 to 2 year period, I was just blown away by, I changed myself physically, mentally. I'm not getting bullied. I'm better at sports. I feel better. I feel better about myself and how I look. What if I took this a little bit further? And it just snowballed with more sports in high school, seeing that you can be a better athlete. People look at you differently. You finally get attention of girls. Guys are looking up to you. And my intent going into college was to be a Phy Ed teacher. I had 2 aunts and uncles and 2 cousins that were Phy Ed teachers. Let's do that. After my first year of college at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, I took an intro to kines class, loved every bit of it. I'm like, this is awesome, this kinesiology, human movement science stuff. I want to do that. So before my freshman year was even done, I switched over to be an exercise and fitness kines major with the idea of let's be a personal trainer or a strength conditioning coach. And it just kind of rode from there all the way up through graduate school. Just wanted to know more, hungry for that field, and wanting to know more, do more, help people get a taste of what I got by experiencing what health and fitness can do for them.
Mm-hmm. What kind of workouts were you doing back then?
Up through mainly athletic sports, strength conditioning type things to get better at football, at wrestling in particular, even in college, still a wrestler. It was all based on that athletic performance related to being a better wrestler. After that was done and went to graduate school, I got a small taste of back up a little bit. I actually had a good stint in there where I did bodybuilding, did 5 shows. Men's physique was not a thing yet. Then I did 4 men's physique contests. And that last one I did would have been in fall of 2016. Wow, it's been that long ago, 9 years. And I like the idea of transforming your physique through diet, training, all that kind of thing. Just loved it. And I was really, really into it too. Got in with some friends and peers and things. It does a number on your body. That's one thing. The dieting it's just rough. There's no other way to put it. It gets hard. I wish I would have pulled back a little bit on it in the time. It was a good experience, and I'm a better coach and trainer now, having been through the ringer and as in a physique sport. But I did things wrong. I did things right, but you live and learn with it every time in that regard. But I did that stint in the physique sports for a while, got a taste of powerlifting after I went to Mizzou, my first full-time strength conditioning job after graduate school. A friend of mine, really good friend of mine to this day, Jagath is his name, really strong guy. We're same weight class, but he was much stronger than I was. Physics student, now got his PhD, but did a powerlifting meet there at Mizzou. Loved it. Like, I want to see how strong I can get if I actually put some training into this. And the rest of that is history. Now here I am in Texas. I've done 9 lifetime meets, and I'm going to have a hard time ever letting go of powerlifting.
Are you training for a powerlifting meet now?
Yes. I don't have one on the calendar. Just looking at how things are playing out with schedule and whatnot. You don't want to set yourself up for a meet you can't, finish through and actually dedicate yourself to, but I'm looking at doing one in the middle to end of August. And I've got 3 tentatively on the calendar around here in West Texas. So the answer is yes, I am training for it. I just need to find out exactly which one so I can finish out my training plan leading up to that meet.
Okay. What have you learned about yourself through all of your training? Like fitness related wise, what are some of the things that you carry with you now because of your training?
I'm an incredibly structured person. I love structure, and I think training has a good outlet for that. I mean, you have to manipulate sets, reps, weight, load, progression, days of the week, volume. All these types of things are for those type A structured analytical type people. So it lends well towards my personality and just how I work. I'm a driven person. I need to be pursuing something, some type of a goal, physically, professionally, a new credential, even just reading a book. I like outcomes in knocking them off, crossing them off, and then finding new outcome goals to seek. Doing those different types of pursuits with the powerlifting and the training are things I keep with me to this day because it's how I'm wired, and it gives me a lot of gratitude and enjoyment out of doing them that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what does a day-to-day look like for you?
Being a structured person, I'm up right around 7:30 every morning. And this is partly contingent on my son's school schedule. He's out. Usually it was a little bit earlier, but about 7:30 I'm up every morning. Good or bad, I have a really good circadian rhythm. I can go to bed at 2 a.m. I'm still going to pop out of bed at 7:30. It'll hit me in the afternoon, but I just can't seem to sleep in if I wanted to. Usually in bed by about 11:30. I take my kid to, my son is Owen, he's 10. I take him to Angelo. He's in a summer camp there. And then I just stay there right next door, literally in the gym next to it. And I do my cardio in the morning. Then I head upstairs to the faculty office and I do some of my academic based work, course prep, emails, all that kind of just admin stuff. Then I'll typically bounce back between either Shannon or Peak Performance to do sessions, clients, group team workouts. Somewhere in the middle afternoon, I'll grab my own workout. Then my wife will pick up my son. I'm usually home probably around 4:30, depending on when I work out. And then I try to dedicate as much time to being home with the family in the evenings as we can. And we'll go out and do stuff too, or stuff with our friends. But that's kind of a typical day right there. Weekends are, of course, different depending on when and where we travel, because we travel a lot as a family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Speaking of travel, why did you move to San Angelo?
Yeah, got that question several times, especially when they hear the stuff I've done before. But the job with Goodfellow Air Force Base is what brought me down here. During the 8 months of what was the hard part, well, can't say it was the hard part, the real deep part of COVID for me anyway, from January of 2020 all the way up until I got here at the end of September of 2020. I was looking for work after I got back from Italy, also being a strength conditioning coach over with a rescue squadron of paratroopers. Funding got pulled on that. Long story short, sent me back to the States way early, about 2 years early. Nobody saw COVID coming. For better or worse, 19 days after I got back, the first case of COVID presented in Italy. So maybe it was meant to happen. I don't know. Went to try to just jump right back into the field, find something here in the States. And then, what was it, mid-March, we were on lockdown. So I'm sitting here with everyone else, locked in our houses. We can't go anywhere, house arrest type thing, not knowing when or if I'd even get back into the field again. Like that, I'm in a applied profession where you need to be in groups with people, contacting them, touching them. Is this going to last a year or 2 years? And it got kind of dark at that point for me. And it did for a lot of people. Learned a few things about myself during that point too. But lo and behold, things did start to let up. And it went fast. From early September, a friend of mine told me about, hey, there's a strength conditioning coach job with Booz Allen in San Angelo with the Fire Academy. Would you consider it? It was a simple, hell yes, I would. I want to get back into the field wherever it is. I'm single at this point. I don't have a cat, a dog, or even a goldfish. I can go where I want to. And by the end of the month, they made me the offer, and I'm on my way down to San Angelo. And ironically, it's the smallest city I've lived in out of 5 states, 7 cities, and 2 countries. But it has been really, really good to me. It gave me my wife. I've got my stepson, some awesome jobs. I've met some amazing people. I've never been so connected to a community. I have no regrets whatsoever. I'm very happy since I've been here, which will be 5 years this October.
Do you ever think you'll leave San Angelo?
Probably. And me and my wife have had this talk after I finished with Booz Allen, okay, what's next? Are we going to stay here? Are we going to look at relocating? I've got a very niche type role. If Goodfellow doesn't have a military-based strength conditioning role, we're going to have to move somewhere else. We had the talk, and I'd rather stay here, not make my wife have to quit her job, which she likes. We like her community. My son's in a good school. Her family's here. So we're going to stay put probably up until my son leaves for college. And then when that happens, we'll probably go somewhere else. It's not quite as big as we'd like it to be, like a more metropolitan city. It's too hot for both of us all summer, but we don't want to go back to Wisconsin because it's too cold all winter. Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Okay, traveling. Where are some of the places that you have traveled recently that have made an impact on you?
We have been to, and I say we, my family, our favorite city in Texas, I think my wife would agree to, is San Antonio. Really, really like that city. We like Fort Worth too. She worked there for a while and we bounced back and forth, but San Antonio is just awesome. We've been to Ruidoso, New Mexico. Great little city, town, I should put. Santa Fe, New Mexico. And what's the other? Albuquerque are some recent ones that are really just like, wow, this is amazing. There's so much to do. It's different. It's outdoorsy. There's great museums, good nightlife, great food culture. Those really stand out.
You, speaking of food culture, you also do food reviews.
I do. Bit of a foodie. It's the Batman lifestyle, foodie by night and exercise professional by day.
Okay, so give us a great food spot here in San Angelo. Where would you pick?
I always respond to that one with it depends on what I'm looking for or what the person's looking for, special occasion, casual, business lunch, it's date night, that kind of thing. But one that I consistently like going to and always throw out there when I'm like, where are we going to go? Western Sky Steakhouse up on North Chadbourne. Really, really good. Another good one is definitely more casual, PV Deli and Peasant Village. I say this, and Chef Jason would kill me for it. Special occasions. He's like, we're not just special occasions. We're all occasions. I do like going there for date nights. And if I really want to impress people, I'll take them there. And then I would probably have to say, I am a big fan of, it's not a restaurant, but it's just got one of the best vibes in town is SoCo Tap Room.
There.
And usually they let you bring in food. They've got a food truck out front, but it is literally our version of Cheers where everybody knows your name and nobody cares your political affiliation or your beliefs in this and that. You come in there, you're friends during the time that you're in there.
I'm going to have to check that one out.
You really should. It's great.
Okay, let's talk fitness. What does your fitness routine look like now?
Right now, it's not fixed any day of the week. So I do 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. It's usually it's movement based. I can't say it's bodybuilder-esque where I'm doing chest this day, arms this day, back this day, because I don't train in that fashion. Most powerlifters don't. I've got a basically upper push day, and then I've got an upper pull day. One of them is going to be a deadlift focused. Then I've got my day off, and then I've got my upper push, which is still going to be bench based or shoulder press based. And then the next one is going to be either squat or deadlift based. I use a West Side method, which is a methodology of powerlifting training. 2 of those workouts are dynamic effort or speed based lifting. It's still heavy, but you're trying to lift heavy with speed. And then the other 2 are max effort days where you've got 2 days of trying to lift as heavy as you can around those like doubles, triples, and maybe up to 5 reps. And that has done very well for me. I like that manner of training. I like that methodology.
Is there a science between the 2 and the 1? The 2 days on, 1 day off?
Basically, that's the structure that Louis Simmons, kind of the father of West Side Method, has came up with, because you want to make sure there is, one, it works for almost all of his athletes that do it. It allows you to get those 2 dynamic effort speed workouts, and then you get the 2 max effort days, not so condensed or close together to where you're crushing your central nervous system and just your joint, your tissues. Keeping in mind with powerlifting, you're always lifting relatively heavy. Can't do that day in and day out 4, 5, 6 days in a row without just being in pain all the time. And then it just allows for adequate recovery that day in between. And then you've got those weekends in there. And I still do cardio. My cardio is trying to get my 2-mile walks in the morning. And I only do that realistically to keep my cardiovascular system generally healthy. I don't do it to make my endurance better. I don't really need endurance for powerlifting. Not tooting my own horn, but I don't need to lose more weight. I'm already 4 pounds above my weight class. So that wouldn't even warrant a weight cut in the sport. Typically, if you've got 10 pounds or more to drop, they call that a cut. But going on a little bit of an aside, I really do want to live to be 100. I really, really do want to be a centenarian, in a healthy centenarian, still active in doing things. So I'm doing things now at 40 when I'm more robust, more resilient with my health, to make sure that my cardio is well developed now, not at the expense of when I'm 50 and 60s thinking, oh, I probably should have done cardio when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Do you do any kind of stretching or mobility work?
I do. On my off days, not all 3 of them, but on 1 or 2 of my 3 off days, I'll have what I call a regen bout. I don't even like to call it a regen workout because I want it out of my head or the perception that it's a workout day, and I don't even try to go to the gym on those days. At home, I'll do active isolated stretching. I'll do some foam rolling, and then I'll do some mobility work. Whole thing takes maybe 30, 35 minutes to do. I'll just do it in my garage. It turns into Bikram yoga on the really hot days because it's already so hot in there. Mm-hmm. But that has been a big thing for me since I was about mid-30s, that those recovery days are critical to keeping loose, limber, not being tight, not being sore. When I was 25, didn't need it. You just bounce back. But now that's become a big factor in there.
Was that a hard adjustment going from not making those days necessary for you to putting it into the routine? Was it hard to stick to at the beginning?
I actually welcomed it because I'm the kind of person that loves the gym, and I could just go every day just to be there and, just hit some arms. Let's do some calves. Let's do some traps. Let's just do, a bro workout. That gave me a reason to still be able to train without having to go and beat yourself up more, spend more time in the gym. Like I said, I can go in our living room or the garage, knock that out in 35 minutes, not have to make separate trips. And then I'm almost more antsy to go back to the gym the next day or come Monday, type thing like that.
Is the gym mentally for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a catharsis, it's a release, but I would actually say my morning walks that I take, that's something I picked up during COVID. It was one thing that anchored me every morning and let me get my bearings mentally and physically. Like I now own the day. I started out with something I wanted to, just letting my wheels turn and getting my mind right. That has stayed with me to this very day, where in the morning, that's my 30 minutes to go for my 2-mile walk and just get my head right. It is incredibly therapeutic, even meditative for me to get those walks in. And I mean, it's not just a stroll. Like my wife says, your walking pace is most people's run pace. I'm booking it, but I mean, it's not like it's, super hard or anything. It's just a walk to get active, get my steps in, and clear the head. And it's been a big part of, I would say, my mental health, actually.
Do you ever see a day where fitness isn't a part of your life?
I don't. It's as hardwired into who I am as breathing, honestly. And when we take vacations and stuff, granted, there's days when we take cruises or go places, we're cruisers, me and my wife. Oh, yeah. We've got one scheduled for this August. But I'm fine having a day or two without it, just because I want to be fit and healthy so I can enjoy life longer, not so that it consumes or holds me prisoner to it. But I've told my wife I would like to be the guy. There's a few in meets that I go to now. They're in their 70s and they're still powerlifting and they're crushing it. They're doing great. It won't be PRs like I have now, but for a 70-year-old in my weight class, I still want to represent the old guys that are strong.
Okay, talking about being older, are there any other measures that you are taking to ensure that you make it to 100? Yes.
I've been an advent believer in longevity-based health and wellness. A particular specialist I follow is Dr. Peter Attia out of Austin. He's got early medical, 10 squared. I'm reading his book right now. And he's got different strategies in there. And before I even got into the strategies, I was already in agreement with several things that he had put in there, laid out as tactics and strategies to, prevent things like Alzheimer's, to prevent things like, muscle loss, just being able to keep yourself robust as long as you can, because it's not about just living to old age. It's living to old age with as much quality as possible, health span versus lifespan. Monitoring my alcohol intake, and that is something I have to be proactive with because I'm a CSW, a certified specialist of wine, so I do wine education seminars and workshops. Not going off the rails with that and not letting a passion and a hobby become something that potentially puts me in the grave early. Not smoking, controlling stress, maintaining good social connections, keeping my cardiovascular fitness as strong as I can now. And then the lifting in and of itself is going to make me a stronger version of myself. Losses of muscle mass, sarcopenia, is one of the leading causes for people to become less independent and more or less functional. So I think I'm hitting most of the buckets, but I am looking at that long-term trajectory, not just let's be really, really strong right now and whatever happens later, oh well. it's not that anymore. It's the long haul.
Mm-hmm. Did that perspective change over time?
Yeah. It was the prior. Let's just worry about, the physique now, the strength now, the performance right now. I would say I've really gotten more tuned into what's going to matter later, as much or more than now, the past 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm. So you have these measures. I'm curious to know, does nutrition play a fact in
Yes.
that?
And I kind of skated over that one just because I know that's a bedrock of what I do. But, enjoying as a foodie, I want to enjoy food because I really, really do. But keeping the rails on that too, making sure I get adequate protein. I try to make sure I get some type of green salad in almost every day of the week, fruits and vegetables, hitting my macro targets, which is different for each person, but eating enough to fuel and recover from training and performance, but then eating for health and longevity as well too, taking fish oils, not eating, overly hyper processed foods too often. I'm not going to say that any hyper or any processed food is bad, eating it too often, too much. That's where people get into trouble. But, making sure that I get what I need, I get enough variety, in that the way that I'm fueling isn't just enhancing performance, but it is moving me towards that goal of longevity. Nutrition is a critical factor.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have all this health and fitness knowledge. For somebody who is stepping into the fitness world or is like newer, what is the best advice that you would give them?
The best advice I would give them, and this also goes along with an added perspective that I have with public health advocacy for physical fitness and health. Something is always better than nothing. No matter where you're at, even if you're a complete beginner, you're deconditioned, you've lost everything you had at some point, just start somewhere. Mm-hmm. Whether it's, I'm going to just start eating a piece of fruit every day. I'm going to try to walk halfway around the block every day until I get to all the way around the block. I'm going to get up and do, 15 squats a day when commercials come on TV. That little first step can often snowball into something much more substantial and beneficial. In fact, after I got back from the American College of Sports Medicine annual conference 3 weeks ago, you can get, 18%. What was it? 18% of the benefits come from going from nothing to just something. Even the smallest amounts of physical activity, 18% of the health benefits, primarily in cardiovascular fitness, come from nothing to just something, going from like the lowest level to the next lowest level. You're leaving 18% of your fitness on the table by just not starting something. Mm-hmm. And then if you layer it with some of that nutritional aspect, maybe some lifestyle factors, getting a little bit better sleep. Now let's add on some hydration. You've done 3 little things: eat fruit, walk around the block, and hydrate. Those 3 things right there can trickle into something very big. Next thing you know, 6 months later, you're dropping weight. You feel better. You sleep better. It just starts somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My next question, the seasoned fitness enthusiast, what kind of advice would you give somebody that's been in the gym for a while?
I would say if you've been in the gym for a while and you're looking for, assuming that, you've got good exposure, familiarity, and understanding of the gym, and you're looking for that next way forward, try something new. Go back to being a beginner again. I just did a volleyball, a rec volleyball match at the YMCA with some friends. Haven't done volleyball in a while, but I've always liked volleyball as a recreational sport. And you get humbled pretty quick, especially when you just train for mainly powerlifting. Now you've got to jump and cut and squat and serve and dig and spike. And you're like, okay, I'm not super good at this. I'm okay, but I'm not super good. Mm-hmm. It brings you back down to, okay, this is what it feels like to be a beginner again. I might need to work on these skill sets, or this is just what it feels like not to be skilled, trained, or that familiar with something. So try something new, go outside of your comfort zone. And if you're like, no, I just want to stay with what I'm doing, well, then I would say work with a professional to get something built that is more honed in on something very specific. How do you take it to the next notch? Are there other methods or training tactics you could use to stay in your lane, whether it's strength or sport or high rocks or, whatever it might be? Work with a professional who can help to optimize what you're already doing to be even better.
Oh, great advice. Okay. We were talking earlier at the very beginning, being able to juggle all the hats. How do you juggle all the things you do and maintain a good rhythm?
The biggest thing I use right now is, well, one, having a calendar, a scheduled calendar of what you're going to do, when and where. I have a whiteboard of different priorities that I box out. I use what's called an Eisenhower decision matrix. And this is basically taking a daily checklist and taking it one step further for prioritization. You've got important, not important, urgent, not urgent. Those are your 4 quadrants. And if you can drop your daily checklist or even your weekly checklist of things to do within those quadrants, you know what is important, not important, urgent, and not urgent. And you can basically triage the things that you need to get done that week or that month, and that's helpful. But the most important thing is boundaries. Not letting too much come onto the table or onto the plate, being able to say no, not I can't now, but I can later, versus just always, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. I'm going to go try and build this. I'm going to go and do this now. Mm-hmm. And keeping in mind, I want to be, not need to be, I want to be a good father and husband. I won't let things seep into that time or those areas and domains of my life, but still being able to keep the professional, the athletic, the personal things in there that I want to. They might have to adapt and adjust week to week, month to month, but as long as I know where they fit and not letting one bleed over into the other and keeping those boundaries, being able to say no, that seems to help a lot with the hats that I wear.
I need to hear all that today.
It's so easy for me to want to just say, yep, I'll do it. Yep, I'll do it. Let's do that. Let's start this. I just have to take that pause and say, Josh, boundaries, where are we at? Is this the time to take it on or not? Mm-hmm. And that little pause in analysis sometimes keeps me on the right track.
Mm-hmm. Are there ever days where you get stuck in like the mundane? Like, does your mental ever shift, because you do have so many hats? Does your mental ever shift into like, man, I have to get through this part now? Does that make sense?
With what you said about like the mundane, I would say no. And that's because I have these different arenas. I've got, adjunct instructor. I've got, athletics coach. I've got my own athletic pursuits, freelance writing. Those are all, some are creative, some are analytical, some are conceptual. They keep my mind working in different ways. Mm-hmm. And it feeds different needs, so to speak. So that's what I like about the way I have the balance, is that I never feel overwhelmed in one area, underwhelmed in another. Mm-hmm. I get a good balance and variety of things that is just enough to challenge me. And there's days where I'm like, oh God, I got so much to do, or man, I'm exhausted, but all I did was, sit at a desk and work on projects or something like that. Also makes it really enticing to want to go to the gym at the end of the day, because you've been sitting all day. Now you want to go and move around. But that variety in the differences of where those priorities exist helps me avoid the mundane.
So I love that. Okay. My brain.
I'm there half the time. That's where caffeine helps out.
Sorry, Landon. Okay. Good to go. All right. Is there anything else you would like to add into your first segment?
No, I think, and that's part of why I wanted to come on the podcast. A lot of people think I'm just the foodie guy, and I am. I love having that title, but there is the business that I built is Muscles and Morsels Media. Mm-hmm. And the whole reason for that title is that there's the muscle side, all of my professional pursuits, my athletic pursuits. The morsels is all of the tasty goodness I go out and do with wine type stuff and food writing and food travel. I think they see about 90% the food side and 10% the fitness side. I want people to know that I intentionally keep very strong balance between the two, to where one does not end up causing, long-term ramifications or health consequences towards my health side, because that really is the core of who I am. I'm a health professional. I'm an ambassador of healthy living, active living, wanting to be 100. You can I want to showcase you can do all of these fun, tasty, gastronomic type things that involve, food and travel and wine, without having to sacrifice your health and your fitness or be prisoner to a workout plan and diet and never do these things. You absolutely can merge the two together and have your cake and eat it too.
It's a good balance. I hope when I get to be a little more seasoned I can juggle it. I'm definitely looking forward to taking some of your tips and pointers with me.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, we are going to hear a word from our sponsors, and we will be back soon. Is Ben's Aruba in better shape than your roof? Be sure to go check him out on all social medias through Ben's Aruba or CRC Roofing. And while you're at it, call them for all of your roofing needs and all of your home renovations because they do both. Do you want to get a free sticker? Go by Maximus today to pick up all of your proteins, creatines, and greens and the pre-workouts. And be sure to tell them at the checkout that you heard this ad on Everything in the Gym podcast and get a free sticker at checkout. And we are back for Deck of Cards. Deck of Cards is sponsored by Training from the Ground Up, and there are new questions in this deck.
All right.
So, blue card.
Blue first?
Yes.
What is your greatest fear in this current time? I would say, and again, I think my wife would agree with this, is because I'm such a planner and forecaster and I like having control as much as I can of future events, not knowing where we'll be in just the next year exactly, that there's outside factors that you can't control for. Again, politically things are a little bit unstable. We don't know for sure. Me looking for what that next full-time career-based position might be. Just the unknown. It's not fear, but it's just one of those things that a little bit of anxiety. Wish I could lock it in, have more control over it. But I'm also learning how to live with that. It's okay to have some unknowns in there. Control the variables you can. Let the other things happen as they will.
Mm-hmm. They say something along the lines of you kind of need those fears in your life to, like, the things that you're doing, if they don't scare you, then they're not big enough.
Yeah.
And I this for one is always something that I am fearful of, like losing this production and losing the impact we're making. Because you are right, the future is undetermined.
Especially once you've built something, you'd hate to see it disappear or go away.
Yeah. And then just like a bunch of other things with life. Like I would hate to see my family like shift or shatter. And
that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah. And then I still can't announce it on here yet, but I'm working on some things and there comes a lot of fear with
yep.
Starting something new and stepping out into something you've never done before.
I can agree with that. Matter of fact, there's a little something potentially coming up on my end as well that I'm not going to spill beans yet because it's not confirmed. But when you start the idea of building something, the idea of it not coming to fruition is scary.
Yeah, because you want it to happen.
You want it to, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of pieces that have to stack up to get it there. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, what does the gym or fitness mean to you?
Twofold. It's my anchor. It's always been there for me. It's always pushed me, tested me. It's that catharsis where I can just let loose physically. And when you can tie your mind to your body, you build your mind along with it. But it's a place of progress. I'm there to get better in some small way than I was the last time I was there. So it's always been a place of progression and it's a place of anchoring myself. Mm-hmm. That's what fitness is to me in the gym in particular.
And it's rare that people find something to anchor.
Some people, it's the torture chamber. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's hard. There's some pain, some hurt. When you power lift and you lift really heavy, yeah, there's hurt in a good way, but it's making me a literal stronger person in character and in body.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. It's definitely mental for me. There are days, like I went on vacation recently and we were gone for a whole week. And even though we were doing like all the walking, just something about being in a gym and lifting and moving your body in different ways, it just helps mentally on so many levels.
Yep.
And so for the most part, it's mentally. The other part is just keeping the body in check, keeping everything functioning well and cardiovascular going.
And you got to love that endorphin rush that you get during those really hard workouts. You feel like you could conquer the world when you walk out.
Oh, yeah. There's a great feeling there. Green card.
Let's see here. Best ice cream flavor and why? Oh, that's easy. It's always been the same. Latest scoop right here in town, again, a foodie, so I have to affiliate it with something here. But he has, Scott Clemmer makes my 5 favorite flavors. I won't go through the order, but chocolate chip mint has always been my favorite, and his is my favorite ever. Yeah.
That's a big
worthy cheat
reward.
meal, worth every calorie. Gonna say it right now.
Are you a cone or a cup?
I'm a cup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any toppings?
Nope. I'm just the purist. Just give me the flavor I want and let me go to town.
I am a chocolate chip cookie dough kind of
favorite
person.
flavor.
So good. So good. Like when you're a kid and you go to the grocery store and it's like, oh, that one. I haven't eaten that one since I was a child. And so, any kind of ice cream store that has it.
This is dangerous because Latest Scoop is 2 blocks away from here. I might have to stop on the way out.
I am also a cone person. I love a good waffle cone.
I like them. The only thing is they're messy. When it starts to melt, it just starts running down your hand. That's my only reason for it. It's inconvenient. The cup, I can take my time and it don't get messy.
Makes a great picture.
It does.
Okay, what's a moment in your life you wish you could relive, not to change, but to feel again?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Yeah, just those seminal moments, graduating college or, first car when you moved away or, I would actually say that one. It's still relatively recent, relatively speaking. I've been married 3 years this past April, my wedding day. For a while, I thought for sure I would actually probably be single forever. As somebody who lived in so many places to not find the one, I didn't think it would happen in San Angelo. So I got almost content and worried that, okay, you're 36, you're just not going to find someone. You're not the marrying type. You might not have a family. So for that day to come and experience it was surreal for me. And it was just a hallmark moment. I mean, the emotions, my family got to be there, her family, and I made sure to take a moment, several moments to just pause, look around, listen, smell, hear, take it in, because after today, it's in the past. I could relive that day every day.
Good one.
Yeah.
I don't know why this one keeps coming to my mind. Even like writing this card out the other day, this one keeps coming to mind. And it's not anything crazy, but my husband and I are also cruisers. And there's just something about going on a cruise for the first time. Like walking on to the ship, like it's a whole feeling.
Yeah.
And
you feel like royalty. Like, am I doing this? Is it happening?
Yeah. And then it's one of my favorite things is to take people on a cruise for their first time. I'm like, ooh, you've never been? Okay, go with us. Because I love experiencing that feeling through people.
So I got to ask then, where did you go and what cruise line?
Oh, we went through Carnival for our first one. And we've been on so many now. But I want to say we did do Jamaica. We were not a fan of Jamaica. We had a crazy experience in Jamaica.
I could see why that would be the case because we've been to Jamaica too.
Yeah. And then Cozumel, we love Cozumel. I'm pretty sure it was the Cayman Islands.
Yep.
Was our
we
first
did Cayman. Probably, was that your first one?
Yeah.
Because we hit almost those same 3 spots on a Carnival cruise for our second to last one we did.
Yeah. I don't know. If you've never cruised before, it's an experience for your first time.
Wink, wink, Carnival.
Sponsor this podcast. Pink card.
Do you take creatine or any other supplements to assist in muscle growth or fitness-related abilities? I'm actually glad I got that card because I want to answer it in an educational way.
Okay.
I do take creatine, straight creatine monohydrate, because it has more research, more robust research than any other form of creatine out there. It's probably one of the most researched and efficacious supplements to take for a strength power athlete. And so I do. It's usually the 0.33 grams per kilogram, nothing more, nothing less. I take whey protein, fish oils, vitamin D3. I take a non-stimulant pre-workout, which is basically beta-alanine, a little glucuronolactone, What else is in there? Citrulline, things that basically help with fatigue management, that kind of thing. I'd rather get my caffeine from coffee because I love coffee, whether it's hot or cold brew, and I can manipulate the caffeine amount. I'm sensitive to caffeine, so I don't want something that, for instance, a Monster has 300. It feels like my hair wants to just jump off my head, the little hair that I have. So yes to creatine, and then yes to some of the other evidence-based supplements that are known to help with primarily recovery, muscle repair, and again, like longevity, the fish oils, that kind of thing, looking for the long haul. My vitamin D3 levels were low on a blood test. And it's a critical vitamin towards helping towards other health outcomes, testosterone being one of them. So that's the reason I take that one. I don't take anything just because I want to try it. I take it because it is known, reported benefits for its use that I'm seeking to benefit from.
I take creatine, and then I also supplement protein occasionally. I've been working more towards doing actual protein sources, so chicken and beef.
Yep, I'm a food first also.
Yeah.
Whey is just kind of nice to throw down after a workout and not have to try to throw down whole food.
Yeah, that's about where it comes into play, is right after my workout. Sometimes occasionally at night if I did not catch all the protein throughout the day. And then I am currently taking greens just to get some more of those nutrients back in there. But other than that, sometimes when I remember, my amino acids and electrolytes, and occasionally pre-workout. But yeah.
Like I said, I try to get a big green salad in with a bunch of veggies and, some type of meat protein. But if I can't get my salad in, or when we travel and it's just hard to get a salad in each day, I will take a green supplement too.
Yeah. What was the last book you read and enjoyed?
The one I'm with Thrive right now is the book I'm almost done with Peter Attia. And that one has a lot of not just insights, good insights, evidence-based, scientific-based insights towards longevity and controlling your health now for your, what he calls your, what does he call it now? Basically it's considered your last decade of life, to make it as optimal as possible. I can't remember what he calls it. But that one, and then I read The Way Forward by a former Navy SEAL, and his basically story going through Afghanistan and tracking down bin Laden, and just his upbringing and how everything he did during his growing up and going through the military and then going special forces, it basically prepared him to be where he was in that role. So that's the last one I finished and took some really, really interesting life perspectives from and some values from. But I have to say, I've got sticky notes and markers all through Dr. Peter Attia's book right now.
Great recommendations.
I would definitely, anyone in health and fitness or preventative medicine should read that book, Thrive.
I'm going to write it down. I am currently listening to You're a Badass at Making Money. I've been going to therapy, and this little venture that I'm working on, she recommended this one, and I am about halfway through, but it is the author was very poor, living in a friend's garage basically until she was in her 40s, and ended up turning her life around and changing her mindset against money, and has made herself into almost a millionaire. And yeah. And so it talks about just the mindset that we have looking towards money, and how oftentimes it just takes like a switch to
attitude is everything.
Yeah. And then it just starts making sense and clicking, and
I may have
here
to
comes the money.
Financial literacy and intelligence is an area I've recently picked up on too. I have been and still am a bit of a Dave Ramsey advocate, bits and pieces of what he's talked about, but even Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So this one seems like one I might have to get my hands on.
Yeah. I'm halfway through. I've enjoyed listening to it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Blue card.
Back to blue. What is your favorite childhood memory and why? Talked about this recently with my wife, actually. Camping.
Oh,
We did a lot of that. And this goes back to my upbringing. I'm well aware that, my folks did not make a lot of money up until we basically got to high school, me and my siblings. And I look back now, and they stretched and sacrificed to make things work for us. Not that we struggled, but because they made the sacrifices, so we never felt or really saw it. And so we did camping because hotels and big trips and cruises were never going to happen. But I loved camping. The smell of a fire, setting up our pop-up tent, going fishing, throwing the football around with my dad and my brothers, him telling stories around the fire, s'mores, all of those things are like the smells and aromas and the sights of that is nostalgic for me. It throws me right back to being a kid again. And I'm trying to bring that into my family with my son right now because I want him to get that experience because I have such a strong affiliation and memory of those experiences as a kid.
do you love s'mores?
I do. Is it my favorite dessert out there? No, but if somebody's making them, I'm not saying no.
Yeah. Burnt marshmallow or regular?
Burnt.
Yeah, me too. I've answered this question a couple of times. I'm going to go with a memory from when I was like 9 or 10. I used to do gymnastics, and my very best friend at the time, her family had a family reunion every year in Wimberley, Texas. And they would go to what is called the 7A Ranch. And it was cabins. And so we had our own cabin, me and her, like mom and dad.
Yeah.
And we floated the river that goes through Wimberley. And the river goes like over a road. And so it was so cool to like be in an inner tube and then like go over the road and down the waterfalls that it came with. And there was an ice cream shop and an arcade and a museum that was like all included into our...
That sounds fun now, let alone when you were a younger kid. That would be way fun.
Yeah. And I just remember back then her parents would be like, yeah, go do whatever. And so it was just me and my little friend running
Living the
around
life.
all this place. And there were fireflies at night. And it was so awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I would do that now. But yeah, as a kid, that's like ultimate freedom paradise right there. Cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure we're a pink card.
Pink? What's a gym lesson you have applied to your life outside of fitness? I've used this principle when I've talked to my interns or clients or just people I've worked with, that one thing you learn, and I do this myself, that's why I teach this to them, is behind resistance is usually growth. When you lift a heavier weight, you grow stronger muscles, you grow bigger muscles. Without the resistance, there is no adaptation or growth. And our ability to withstand loads or stressors or weights, whether it be a weight or a dumbbell or something in life, professionally, emotionally, to an extent, because like anything you lift too much, you get hurt. It was too much for your body to withstand. You can overcome it. But behind any type of resistance, a positive resistance, you're going to come out a stronger person. And so I use these analogies with them. Like, remember when you told me you would never bench 225, you'd never hit an 18-inch vertical? What happened? You stayed with it. It was hard and you got it. You will conquer this. You will come over this. And like, okay, yeah, that was at one time impossible. I did it. And I try to do the same thing with myself. Something as simple the other day, an article I was working on, I'm like, I'm never going to get this thing put out. This is so much depth. I've got to do so many interviews. And then I was like, Josh, you've in the gym, like you didn't think when you got there, you're having a rough day, you were tired, you were convinced you were only going to have to do 405 or something like that. And I was going to kind of half-ass the workout. And I got started and I had one of the best deadlift workouts I've had in months because of that attitude factor, and you just grind it out. So I sat down in front of the computer, knocked out the article. Just that little attitude. I needed to remind myself that this will be hard, but you're going to be better for it.
Attitude changes everything.
Oh, it really does. If you come in telling yourself this will be hard, this will suck, it won't be fun, it's hard to then possibly enjoy it because you're looking at through the lens of negativity or something bad or it can't be good.
I would say for the biggest lesson that I've applied is consistency. I have been in the fitness realm for the last 5 years, and in the beginning, you're like, okay, I'm going to go for a little while, and then you take a few days off, and then you come back, and it's not the same. You're trying different things, but then you finally learn like, okay, if I stick to a routine and I stick to a plan, even if you write out a workout plan that's like 3-4 weeks long and you stay with that for those weeks, and then you turn around and you say, wow, that like I saw changes. I actually saw growth in that 4-week period. It's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with the podcast, staying consistent with it. You learn like little habits and little things that make it just a little bit easier. And then when
refine it.
When new challenges arise, because you've been consistent with it, you know that it takes consistency to learn that swing and put those little notches in it. And then it eventually becomes
I think that's a big one with people. They can have the best program, let's go back to fitness, written. It fails the moment you stop being consistent with it and start deviating or changing things. Give it that 3 to 4 weeks and dial it in. And this goes with anything. Dial it in with that plan, stay the plan, watch it deliver. You can't start deviating right out the gates.
Consistency. If you woke up as a superhero, what does your outfit look like and what are your superpowers?
I want to basically go straight to my tried and true favorite, and that's Superman. I've been a uber Superman fan since I was 8-9 years old. My Uncle Jeff, he was a big Superman fan too, and he had all the comics. He had the little action figures, hats, all kinds of stuff, and so it rubbed off on me even more. And to this day, it would be something much like Superman, just, the strongest, the fastest, but at the same time, down to earth, humble, somewhat secretive, but wants to help people, uses his powers for good. The one power I probably would really want, though, is it's one that a lot of people say is the ability to fly. I think that would just be, every day would be surreal. Like, don't need the car, don't need the bike. I'm just going to fly over there. And being aerial like that, seeing everything.
I wonder what kind of nutrition it would take to keep your body
the question
fueled.
is it your body anatomically, physiologically flying, or are you what do you call bypassing gravity?
Yeah. That's interesting.
That'd be scary, though, because if I needed to eat more than I do now to fly, maybe I wouldn't be flying very much.
It's like eating a Snickers bar to
like
get yourself
fueling
in there.
up on a milkshake just so I can go fly.
Yeah. It's the new form of cardio.
Yeah, there you go.
I do think flying would be super cool, but I am still going to go with reading minds. And not so much like everybody's minds and not all the time either, but I do hand out stickers all the time, and sometimes you do wonder, like, okay, I really do wonder what this person is going through. Do they need help from somebody else? And so being able to know, like, what people are actually dealing with or going through would be helpful to assist.
That's a different perspective on that I never thought about, because that was a superpower I wanted not too awful long ago. Somebody pointed out, what if you had that, but you couldn't turn it off, you just had the power and you heard everything people were thinking at all times about you, themselves, others, would you really want that? That could get wicked really quick, not being able to turn it off. But if it was selective, I actually think that would be a superpower I want for the sake of helping understand where someone's at and to communicate with them better.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome superpower.
There's no way I could listen to everybody's thoughts all the time.
Yeah, you just like, out of my head, I'm losing it.
Yeah. All right. Blue card.
Blue card. What part of your story do you think people misunderstand the most? I would say it's at first glance or when they get to meet me, and this happens with some, if not a lot of fitness professionals, they assume we've always been fit. We've always been down this road. We've never had the struggle. It's genetics. We're gifted. And genetics play a role. I can't pretend my genetics don't let me be who I am today, but I earned it and I worked for it for now being 40, and it was 16, so 25 years it took to get where I'm at. And I was not gifted as a teenager. That's why I was 5'10", 240, and probably one of the worst athletes on the team. So I've been there. I've struggled. I've had most of the issues that people have had with being unhealthy, being unfit, the mental struggles that go with it too. I wish more people understood that and wouldn't judge a book by its cover. I mean, I'm fine with people, giving comments and things like that. I wish it was as strong as you, whatever. But don't just assume I've had easy street within the fitness realm, because I have not.
Great answer. I think people, I get told all the time, you're so positive. You are so bubbly. You are a ray of sunshine, which I am for the most part. But it wasn't always that way. And it wasn't that way for a long time. You'd be surprised. Like growing up, I was very when I was a child, I was very quiet. I didn't like talking to people. I was the outsider. I didn't have a whole lot of friends. You could put me in a party and I would be like standing against the wall.
Oh, wow. Would never expect that.
See? Yeah.
Not at all.
And I didn't start getting out of like my people shell until like the last 6-7 years.
Really?
Yeah. And then it stepped into the gym, and the gym just like engulfed me, and I
awoke in the inner you.
I was able to come out of it, and some of that comes with healing from past traumas. But yeah, the gym and fitness community as a whole just kind of helped, like
the people you're surrounded with, usually also positive, brings out your positivity.
Yeah. And so, the positive person that everybody sees and knows today wasn't who I was many years ago.
See, that's ironic on both our ends, where if people knew where we came from and who we used to be, if we can do it, they can definitely do it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Look for the positives, you guys.
Look for it. Yep. It's there.
What is a movement or workout that humbles you every time?
Bench press.
Yeah.
Yep. Just because I've gotten stronger with it, but when you're 6'2" with a super long arm span and you see all these other guys that can just rep out what you can max out with, younger, much younger, whatever it might be, like on paper you should be better, but biomechanically you're just not built for it. That one's always humbling. But I actually like training with guys who I know are stronger than me, because I can't get a big head on myself and get too comfortable. Like you're with this guy who's 8-9 years younger, 15, 20 pounds lighter, and he's equaling your maxes or doing better. Get busy, start grinding. So that's probably one of the most, in powerlifting, you have to bench press. So it's one of those that you need to get better in as an athlete.
Yeah. I haven't done bench press in a long time, like actual barbell bench press. I've done dumbbell, but not barbell. I would say I'm going to go pre-injury. It was running. Before I was injured, the running, it didn't matter how many times I would run, distance-wise, every time. It humbles. After injury, right now I'm pretty much just upper body, but every time I step up to do pull-ups, the first set's always great, and then we get into like the second and third set, just body weight, and I'm like,
we call it, yeah. I see you're out of the boot.
I am out of the boot. I had an MRI yesterday. It doesn't feel any better.
No. Can I ask what the MRI showed? No fracture, break?
I won't know until sometime later today or tomorrow.
The weight sucks. You just want an answer. What can I do? What can I not do?
Which I went to see an orthopedic like 6 weeks ago, and so they thought it was just inflamed, which we talked about, and the rest just didn't.
And you know your body pretty well when something's right or not.
Even being on like lower body rest, like super lower body rest right now, like there are still days where I could feel just something in there, and so we'll see.
We're going to have to talk about that offline afterwards to see what we can still do to keep you going there.
I can do leg extensions.
I was just going to ask, from like the knee up, can you keep doing stuff?
So the tricky part is tied to my hip too at some point. So I've got hip pain at some points throughout the pain that's in my ankle. And so it's real touchy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny that ankle's kind of connected to that hip a little bit.
Yeah.
Last I checked. So
can't
do one without the other.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully soon. All right. Last card. Green.
Green. What time do you wake up? So we said earlier, I'm right about 7:30. And the funny part about it, the curse is that I set my alarm for 7:30. And almost without fail, 6 days out of 7, I will wake up 5 minutes before that naturally, regardless of what time I go to bed. Which is good because we want that circadian rhythm so we wake up naturally and feel rested. But if it's like I went to bed at 2 and I'd love to sleep in, what happens is I wake up, my contacts are dry. I'm supposed to be able to sleep with them in. My throat's always really dry in the morning and I always have to go to the bathroom. I can't lay in bed for more than 5 minutes without having to get up and fix all three. And once I'm up, I'm awake. Yeah. So it is what it is.
I am a 4:30 person.
Bless your heart. I don't know that time of the morning even exists.
My daughter loves to wake up early too. And so she is 6:30, 7 o'clock. And I know that I need to start my day with some form of like just me. Just my thoughts.
Hear you there.
Just my thoughts. Just being able to get done whatever I want to do in the morning before life is calling me in all other directions. And so 4:30 is the go-to. And most times I drink my coffee and I cross stitch and listen to an audiobook or watch a show. And then the day begins.
I can relate because when I do wake up, naturally, I have about an hour to get my kid's stuff, make his lunch, get his stuff ready for camp. My wife she's a night owl, so she'll sleep later because she goes to bed later, but the house is dead quiet. I let the dogs out. I drink my coffee. I've got I usually listen to like smooth jazz or something in the morning and just check emails at a nice, slow, easy pace. I hate rushed mornings if I don't need them.
Yeah. I love a morning. All right, you guys, that concludes Deck of Cards. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. Do you want to get a free sticker? Go by Maximus today to pick up all of your proteins, creatines, and greens, and the pre-workouts. And be sure to tell them at the checkout that you heard this ad on Everything in the Gym podcast and get a free sticker at checkout. And we are back. I'm going to ask you 4 questions that I ask every single person. And my first one is, what is your current biggest struggle?
My biggest struggle, and we'd mentioned this earlier, is preventing myself from taking on too much, keeping the boundaries and enforcing the boundaries so I don't put too much on the plate, let any one domain of the hats that I wear bleed into the other, in particular, letting professional, athletic, personal things bleed into family time, being a good father, being a good husband. It even took my wife reeling me in a little bit like, hey, I support you 100% in all the stuff you do. You're driven, you're ambitious, but we want some of that too. We want some of what Josh is here at home, spending time with us for dinner and, talking to Owen. And even my son had said, Dad, how come you're always at the gym before? And he'd just made the off comment before. And I was like, wow, even he notices. That was a recalibration right there. And I feel like I've done, and I still am doing my best to make sure I keep those boundaries in place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is something you have done that you are proud of?
I would say it's a principle that as a professional, I have kind of dedicated myself and committed myself to helping other people. It's not necessarily one thing. And that is to take roles that allow me to be front facing in my community at Shannon, at Peak Performance, at ASU, even my freelance writing for a hyperlocal digital news outlet. I'm putting myself out there by using my own expertise and passions to help people be better versions of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, if you could give anybody honorable mention, who would it be and why?
Was thinking about this earlier because I've had similar questions to it. I definitely have to go back to my parents. They are amazing, hardworking people that instilled very deep, strong core values with me that stick to me to this day. And when it comes to dilemmas and ethical choices, I ask myself, what would your parents think if you did or didn't do this? Mm-hmm. And I get my answer real quick that way. The other honorable mention would be my wife. I'm able to do many of the professional things that I do in the way that I do them, in the time that I put towards them, because she supports me with them and understands that's just the fire in Josh. I got to let him light that candle and run with it. Mm-hmm. So I definitely honorable mention to her.
Good job, you guys.
Definitely.
My last question for you is, if you could give advice to anybody listening, what is the best piece of advice that you have?
2 pieces, I would say, and this can be applied personally or professionally. Be your authentic self. Just be who you are in your heart and your mind. Now, if you're not such a nice person, you're kind of mean and cruel and, that kind of thing, you might need to change and adjust a little bit. But if beyond that, be your authentic self, because then you're going to feel comfortable in your own skin. You'll find the people that accept you for who you are, and you can be yourself, and you won't resent yourself or them for putting up a facade or being someone somebody else wants you to be. Mm-hmm. Tied closely to that is follow your passion. Go towards and do the things that you love to do, because on your hardest day, worst day, longest day, biggest project, you still find joy and passion in what you do. At Goodfellow, when I would have to work an 8 or 9 hour day out in the heat with, all these different military students and instructors, knowing I'd have to come back the next day and do the same thing again, and the next day to get through the week, it was physically straining. It was long, and you still got admin work to do. I would come home knowing I got to go do that job and help these young cadets become a military firefighter and in some way, shape, or form defend my freedom as an American. That's what they're going to go out and do. I want to make sure they succeed with that, and I'm a small part of it. That's my passion. It's helping them do what they do as an airman, a Marine, a soldier, a sailor. And that little piece of passion is what pulled me through. Without that passion, it's really easy to just fold and be like, I'll go through the motions. Not today. I'll come up with an excuse. So follow your passion.
We all need one.
Yes, we do. We need that calling.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add on into your episode?
No, I'll just, I'll use this as a chance to put out awareness to people. I've done it a few times through social media. Again, I am now at Peak Performance, and I'm trying to be more hands-on now that I have the time to put strength conditioning, personal training, and fitness coaching on the front burner. If anyone is looking for a trainer, a coach, a plan to be built, assessments, they can come down to Peak. Granted, they can see you too, but I'd love for them to come in and say, hey, Josh, I want to take you up on that offer and get started. I'm there to help you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't actually do personal training at Peak. So if you guys are looking for a personal trainer, here you go.
But you do the high rocks instruction,
I do. Right? Yeah, I am. I was actually just asked today if I had my PT cert because somebody wants me to train.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yes. But no, I am just group fit certified. And so I'm just teaching group classes at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to jump into high rocks class and get their feet wet, try that something new. You're the person to go to there.
Your first class is free.
Yes.
All right, you guys, that concludes this episode. We had a lot of great discussion about the gym and fitness and mental and living to be 100. I want you guys to leave a comment, let us know what you think, and a special shout out to Maximus Nutrition, Orange Theory Fitness, Training from the Ground Up, and CRC Roofing. Have a beautiful day, friends. Bye.